Munchies, welcome back. Fall is here and it's the time of year when I just want to bake all the time and eat baked goods. But I can't go completely off the rails, so how can I find that balance? Today we are making breakfast cookies. I know you guys have wanted more breakfast cookies for a while now, and I'm stoked to have partnered with Bob's Red Mill to make this video possible. I've shared Bob's Red Mill products with you before. I've loved them for years, and it's incredible that for decades, Bob has been committed to providing people everywhere with the best foods available and helping their customers live a life through better nutrition no matter their lifestyle. They use high-quality whole grains to satisfy all vegan, paleo, and gluten-free friendly cooking and baking needs. I'll be using 3 of their products today and sharing 3 vegan breakfast cookies. And you can use the discount code in the description, MindoverMunch20, to get 20% off all Bob's Red Mill products through the end of November. Let's start with these coconut cashew muesli breakfast cookies. I'm using Bob's Red Mill paleo style muesli. It has a great grain-free ingredients list that's clean and nutritious with nuts, seeds, and dried fruit. And in addition to being paleo, it's also gluten-free, kosher, and vegan. To make the cookies, I start by mashing bananas and then add cashew butter and whip it up with a hand mixer or whisk. Then stir in paleo-style muesli, which has a nice blend of coconut, berries, nuts, and seeds, followed by additional cashew pieces and coconut shreds, cinnamon, and salt. Mix to integrate, and then use an ice cream scoop to drop the cookie dough onto baking sheets and flatten a bit as they aren't going to spread much. Bake until the tops are firm and golden brown, and then when they're out of the oven, let them cool for a few minutes before transferring to a wire rack. Wow, these taste almost like a coconut banana bread cookie. It's soft, chewy, and filling like a cookie for breakfast should be. Bob's Red Mill's promise is to provide high-quality, minimally processed products from the mill to your table, and in this case, your healthy breakfast cookies too. Next, I'm taking breakfast cookies to a new level and using a far less common breakfast ingredient, Farro. Farro is a super nutritious ancient grain that has a hearty, chewy, and rich nutty flavor. It's higher in fiber than most grains, and it's also packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals. It's usually used in soups and stews, but today we're making cookies. Farro Oatmeal raisin breakfast cookies to be exact. Get it? I combined Farro and oatmeal to make Farro Oatmeal raisin cookies. First, I cook the farro, which is as easy as any other grain. Just follow Bob's package directions. Bring to a boil and then simmer until cooked. Cool it completely before making this recipe. In a food processor, combine coconut oil, applesauce, and coconut sugar. Blend until integrated and then add baking soda, vanilla extract, oats, and a pinch of salt, and pulse to combine. Slowly add boiling water to the food processor while pulsing. Then add oat flour and pulse to integrate into the batter. Transfer to a bowl and fold in that cooked and cooled farro and some raisins, of course. Use an ice cream scoop to drop the cookie dough onto baking sheets lined with parchment, flatten slightly, and bake until the tops are firm and golden. Remove from the oven and again cool on the baking sheets before transferring to a wire rack. Look at these! They're more like a traditional cookie but much lighter than you'd expect. They're not dense at all, and while they are soft, they're not as chewy. And thanks to their nutrient-dense ingredients, they're a great whole grain breakfast option. Last but not least, I wanted to include an option that you don't have to bake, these nutty no-bake breakfast cookies. They use one of my most common Bob's Red Mill ingredients, the certified gluten-free oats. If you need to be on a gluten-free diet, either for allergies, sensitivities, or just as a lifestyle choice, buying Bob's Red Mill's certified gluten-free oats ensures you are not consuming any gluten by contamination because they're handled exclusively in their gluten-free facility and tested to be sure. They are top-notch in quality and taste, being vegan, kosher, organic, 100% whole grain, and high in fiber. I use them almost every day. For these no-bake goods, first I heat almond butter and maple syrup so it's easier to mix. You can do this in the microwave or on the stove. Stir in Bob's Red Mill's certified gluten-free organic oats, chia seeds, chopped pecans, pistachios, and macadamia nuts. Now you can really use any mix-ins, other nuts or seeds, dried fruit, chocolate chips, but I wanted these to be nutritiously nutty. Once combined, I roll into balls and place on a plate with parchment. Flatten and refrigerate 1 to 2 hours. So easy. I am not gonna lie, I'm not typically a no-bake cookie kind of gal. I usually prefer a regular baked cookie, breakfast or not. But these I couldn't stop eating. The nuts paired with the maple syrup, nut butter, and oats make a delicious sweet and salty combination, but it's the texture that wins me over here. Those nuts make these no-bake cookies crunchy instead of soft, and I struggled to stop. I love that these are all truly whole grain. The Bob's Red Mill team believes that whole grains are best for your body, which are very different from refined grains. A refined or processed grain is missing some of the most nutritious parts, unlike a whole grain, which contains all of the health benefits like nutritious fiber, complex carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And with Bob's Red Mill products, you know you're always going to get the least processed and cleanest option. That's why I love them. And those are my 3 new breakfast cookie recipes. You would be a smart cookie to try one out. Let me know your favorite in the comments below. Use the link in the description and the code MindOverMunch20 to get 20% off all Bob's Red Mill products through the end of November. It's the perfect time to stock up for healthy holiday baking and your healthy recipes for the new year. I'll see you next week for a brand new episode, and remember, especially when it comes to cookies, it's all a matter of mind over munch.